Welcome to 1188 Outside the Box, where unconventional wisdom reigns and conversations know no bounds. I am your host, T. Liz. Today's guest is Brittney Nealy of Bremen Key LLC. Join us as we delve deep into discussions about environment, family ties, self-awareness, the not-so-shiny truths about real estate and entrepreneurship, and so much more. Let's jump right in. Welcome to 1188, Brittney Nealy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, friend?
I am wonderful. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
I appreciate your
You
time.
already know.
Yes, ma'am.
You asked me, I'm here.
Okay. So are you going to tell us a little about yourself, or do you want to just come out in the
interview? That's on you, friend. How do you feel?
I want you to tell us a little about yourself.
All right, I can do that. Well, my name is Brittney Nealy. As you have heard, B. Nealy is my alter ego.
It is.
But now I also go by Bremen Key because I'm a hat girl. Love it. And I am from Central Florida. For those of you who don't know, it's a real small town, D-Land. It is in between Daytona Beach and Orlando, or maybe even just Sanford, if you're familiar with Sanford and Trayvon Martin and all the things that were happening in that area. I went to the Florida A&M University, which I know and love. I majored in health information. I since moved to Atlanta, and now I am your favorite real estate agent.
I know that's right. So, if you could describe your life in 3 words, what would those 3 words be and why?
Resilient. Just because I know my story don't have to be going the way it's going. I know that. I can see it and smell it every day. Say, oh God, thank you.
Amen.
Because I could see I could have done that.
Yeah.
That could have been me.
Yeah.
So resilient just is the first thing that comes to mind when you ask me that. Proud. Just because anything I do, I put everything into it.
I can attest.
I have confidence no matter what it is. And it might bother some spirits, and that's fine. But I absolutely stand in that. I am a proud person. Sorry, not sorry. Let me see. I would say kind. And I think it's mainly because I meet people and they say, man, you're way cooler than I thought. Like, what do you mean?
Right.
Like your appearance doesn't seem like you're as nice as you are. So it's a reminder that you just can't look at people and assume what it is. I know I'm a kind person, but I got a limit.
What do you think about your appearance makes people think that you're not kind? Maybe because I know you, and so you look kind to me, but I know you. So
I hate to assume, but I think it's just based off like looking like I have it all together.
Right.
And I think that people that look like they have it all together for whatever reason aren't as approachable or as kind as
a little stuck up.
That
you would probably be stuck
I'm actually told that by complete strangers. You don't know me from a can of paint, and I don't care to explain it to you.
Right.
So I do have conversations with people, and they have I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it in you. Yes, I know I'm a kind person. I have very close friends that tell me I'm too kind. And so you let that ride? Oh no.
Yeah, I've
too
been
nice.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta let it ride though. I think you're the bigger person sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes too big.
Yeah. Right? But are you though?
Too
sometimes
big,
it ain't worth your energy though, right?
It's never worth my energy.
Yeah.
Like hindsight, you realize it's never worth your energy. But in the moment, you gotta work through that thing. You know?
Yes.
We all got those triggers.
Yes.
I'm reading this book right now, Atomic Habits.
I read that.
Ooh.
Yeah, the small habits.
Ooh.
Yes.
And I like how they give these examples about how these Vietnam soldiers, like they were heroin addicts in that environment.
Yes.
And when they changed the environment, they came back home, they were no longer addicts.
Right.
It was just that simple.
It's the environment.
It was the triggers around them that kept the habit going.
Right. Exactly.
So when you keep revisiting how people upset you or how you respond to it, it's just another ballpark when you realize it don't matter.
Because I read somewhere, and I may be paraphrasing, where they say that people choose the familiar hell than the unfamiliar heaven or the unfamiliar happiness because you already know what you're getting, right?
Absolutely.
And so, I read it and I listened to it. I listened to it twice.
Okay.
In bits and pieces. When I went back the second and third time, it was just going back to areas that I felt like I needed for my life. But it is, and I've read several self-help books, but it's about applying them, right? And so most recently I've been working on the applying part because you can know. Right? Listen. They say, you can know the word, but there are also doers of the word.
Absolutely.
So those are 2 totally different things.
You know what they say? How many times you gonna go to that seminar and get them notes?
Yeah.
When are you gonna apply the
notes? You can go
teach
the class at this point. Like seriously, you know? And
We're
I think
obsessive learners.
yes, we are.
Don't
But
apply.
to apply them would be life changing. And I
Yep.
think that's the discipline and that's the skill that we need to inhabit is the actual
Agree.
apply. And
Agree.
so this year has been the apply year for me. To get rid of the procrastination. As you know, this is my gym party. We met in the gym how long ago? Years ago.
Many
8, 9,
moons,
10, 12
friend.
years
We
ago.
telling our business. Many moons, friend.
Yes.
And let's be clear. I remember y'all. When I knew her, she was going by a different name, right?
Girl,
and she wouldn't answer my phone calls, y'all.
Stop lying.
I would call her and she would not answer my phone. And then I would see her at the gym and she'd say, "Oh, that was my other phone." So it took her a minute. She ain't no open door. I don't want y'all to I want y'all to get it.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. It's a warm up for her. And now she can't get rid of me.
Yes. Yeah. She can't get rid of me either.
Amen.
Absolutely. So Brittney Key, real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us your journeys into real estate because I know the journey, y'all, but I'm gonna let her go on and tell the journey because it's a beautiful journey of entrepreneurship. God will push you out there, and then let's go.
Listen, I think that people just make entrepreneurship so shiny.
They do.
They make it so shiny. So when you're locked into corporate America and just the work wheel of, here's your week and here's your weekend, and you're just living for the weekend.
Right.
Check the check half the time, right?
Right.
And then you get online and you see how people are just living their dreams. At least that's what they say.
Yeah, you know
right? You know how that goes.
That's that shiny shit on there too.
That's the shit, boy. It is smoking
mirrors.
I
know you, and it ain't like that for real. But anyway, go ahead.
It's not like that, but for real. But if that light did it for you, go for it, right? So for me, I had always been told by people that I feel like knew me well enough, but not like, personally. Because people who've known you a long time ago, they only see you one way.
That's right.
They don't see what you could be, or
they don't pay attention to evolving you.
No. It's not really their mission. They kind of are comfortable with you being whoever you are forever.
And uncomfortable when you start to change.
Amen, sis. Amen. So I kept being told, man, you have the personality to be a real estate agent. And I was just locked into pushing papers, data entry, coding and billing in some swampy outfit. When I dress, baby, I like to put my hats on. I like to get suited and booted. So it never really matched my personality. So I was always trying to find the out, right? So once the pandemic hit and I had all this extra time in my house, I said, you know what? I think I'm just going to real estate school.
Right.
Because I'm being told, and for some reason, I feel like I'm just knocking my head. People are telling me what it is I need to be doing and what aligns with who my personality kind of, appears to other people. And I'm ignoring it for whatever reason.
Right.
Laziness, procrastination,
well, I think it's the comfortability of knowing that 9-to-5 check is coming. And just like I said, the comfortability of the hell, right? But anyway,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with that is we don't see it. We don't see it for what it is in that time. I know I did it.
Because everybody else doing it.
Everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
Listen, do you know how scared I was to tell my grandmother I was done with that job? She didn't know for a year. She might find out on the podcast, y'all, right? It was too much because they're programmed to think you have to go to school, you have to get these degrees, you have to work for these people. No, you don't.
Retire. Yeah.
No, you don't.
You absolutely
but to tell your elders that, and they truly love you and want the best for you. So it's hard to tell somebody something like that and they not sit up and worry all night long. The only reason I didn't tell my grandmother, because that is my soul, is because I knew it would have her up all night long. When I knew that those student loan people will get their money when they get it.
Right, they're going to get it.
They'll get it eventually. I just wasn't impressed. So I think that journey to entrepreneurship was scary, but I was encouraged. I believed in myself. I knew it was something that I could do. So I just took that leap. I told 4 friends and you was one of them. Everybody else thought I was still going to that hospital. Right. My other grandmother just asked me 2 weeks ago, how's it going at the job?
Oh, it's going good, Grandma.
It's going good. You usually get these gift cards for the holidays. They ask you for them gift cards so many times. I haven't worked for that job in over 2 years. Man, I had to go get the gift card myself.
Right.
Hit the Thanksgiving card. Right. I was not going into it, but it was definitely worth it. It was definitely scary, but you have to be built for it.
You do.
I think the honesty of for real entrepreneurs, not part-time agents, no shade to them, is different.
It is different when your bread and butter is based on the work that you put in. Absolutely.
It's different.
Because I was in real estate for quite some time, but I was in it on top of property management and virtual assisting. So
you were definitely a resource for me. I said, let me call my friend and ask if I'm crazy.
No, you're not
crazy. I
crazy.
called you many times.
Yeah, and you definitely built for it. You have rebranded. Nobody knows what you did before. Your granny must not be on the social media because
Yes, honey,
when I seen your
listen.
Brittney Key, I was like, girl, you better go on, girl. That
Listen,
name is,
friend.
you better brand that,
Mm.
LLC that.
Listen, I don't know about your grandma, but mine drops fire flames on my stories on Instagram.
I
Okay,
know,
my grandma
that's
is
right.
not like the typical grandma.
Bless you,
She
be.
just didn't know. She just was saying, "Man, I love the outfit you put on today, girlfriend."
Right. Yeah.
That's just our
that's it.
relationship. We shopped, and that was our bond.
Right.
So when she see me online, she's so proud.
Right.
When I answer the phone,
I'll be proud. I know
she says, "Is this my Shiro?"
Yeah.
I could cry.
That's
Seriously,
beautiful.
it's the most touching thing because I know she means it.
Yeah.
I know she looks at me and sees her sacrifice. So every time she says that, it just like took me up. Like, oh,
Right.
I have to do this for her. I have to win.
Yes, absolutely. So, what's a commonly held belief in your industry that you found since you've been in that you strongly disagree with, and why?
So many of those.
I'm sure of it.
I mean, I think my main one that I try to preach the most is new construction, just because I feel like it's so cookie cutter and it's supposedly all figured out for you. And I think that most of my clients are new construction.
Right.
So when I have these conversations, I'm trying to make them understand the marketing behind new construction. They pass these signs, ooh, below 200,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The base.
The base, right?
The base.
And I try to explain to them that doesn't include one light. There is nothing in the house
Yeah.
at that price.
Right.
Like at this point, I used to say 70,000. Now it's more like 90,000. Like add 90,000 onto whatever those signs are you're passing. And to think that you're gonna sneak over there without your agent and save some money,
it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
If anything, you're gonna be taken advantage of because now you don't even know what to ask.
Exactly.
So somebody gonna pocket a little extra somewhere because you didn't have any representation. Like I want people to understand that the builder's agent works for the builder.
Yes, they do.
I think that's the biggest thing that I think that most people watch TV shows or whatever, Instagram stuff they got going on, YouTube, and they come back to you as an agent and try to preach to you. The client that know more than the agent.
Right.
I'll be damned.
That ain't gonna happen now. I need you to take a step back.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It's the TV shows.
Yeah, it is.
It's so
HGTVs.
glamorous. The houses aren't sold. It's TV, y'all. It's TV, guys. Like I need y'all to understand that when you're doing your research,
Bottom line.
and I welcome. Please do some research.
Right.
But make sure that you trust your agent.
Right.
If you don't know, like, and trust your agent, why did you even hire him?
Right. Because you can go out there on your own and deal with the other agent, but I don't know how good you're gonna do, how well you're gonna, come out on the other side. Yeah, and they're paying more in the end. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to save money with the agent. Even though you're paying the agent, you save money at the end of the day by using an agent.
That's a mindset, friend.
Yeah, you gotta pay in the beginning, or you will pay in the end. I've been in those situations many a times. Try to cut corners and you end up paying more.
Yep.
Especially when you go into something not knowing what you're doing.
It's a strange thing. People take more advice from strangers than people they know.
Right.
I don't know.
And trust it.
Weirdness.
What is that about?
What's that saying? How that saying go?
Doing too much but not enough at the same time. That's what I say all the time. You're doing too much but not enough at the same damn time.
It's something about like the smartest person is the quietest one.
Oh yeah.
They're paying attention. They see what's going on. It's the person that's talking too much.
They don't know nothing.
They don't know nothing.
And it's the scariest. They're most fearful. Those are the ones because they're saying too much.
Talking too much. You don't hear nothing.
Yeah. You can't. I say that all day. You cannot hear me if you're talking. We can't communicate and we'll both be talking at the same time.
Right.
We'll have to go back and listen to the recording later or something.
I think that's why I love you so much, friend. You're such a good listener.
Because I listen to understand. I don't listen to respond. I think a lot of people listen to have something to say. And there's not always something to say.
Based off the circumstances. I think that I have a few friends where I know if I tell them what I got going on, they are coming with solutions immediately.
Right.
When I didn't really want that.
Right. Because you can, sometimes you just need, some people just need to be heard because we innately have the solutions, but we are human and we need to vent first, right? And so we go through those emotions and we got to get those emotions out, and then all of a sudden we're together. I got to do A, B, C, D, and E, and then I will come to you and say, girl, well, listen, this is what I decided. Then we can talk. That's discussion time. You give me your feedback on this and that, and so there's steps and levels to it. I have a lot of friends who come to me to talk. You
dump truck.
Yeah.
Whether you realize that or not. And dump it on you and go on home.
Yeah, and then I'll just go and I'll decompress. I'll be alone for 2-3 days because I got to get rid of all that energy.
It's too much.
But I love it though. I found that being, I don't want to say independent, but being a loner.
And the loner you are.
Yeah, it's not always the best place to be.
But if you're around certain people and they know that about you, they just ask.
Yeah. And that's what it is. That people ask, and
Did
that's
you get
how I
quiet
get
on
up
me?
telling.
I just call you.
Yeah.
Bring you a little quiet. I haven't seen you at the gym.
And then I can let it out or whatever. But
you hear these long hugs?
Yeah, long hugs, high hugs, good hugs.
Agreed.
Right.
It's good for the soul, friend.
So, what is success for you, and how has it changed over the years?
Freedom.
Yes, girl. High five. Yes, girl. Freedom.
That's it.
Just freedom.
That's it.
I used to say freedom of time is just priceless. The freedom of freedom to do whatever the fuck I want is just like.
Listen, I didn't understand it. Like, I think that most people aren't being transparent enough in that transition from corporate America to entrepreneurship. But the main thing there is freedom.
It is.
You don't have to tell nobody when you're taking off. You don't have to clock in and out. You have to manage your life for real.
Right. You do.
You have to manage.
And that's when you have to be responsible and stewarding over your time. What was success to you, say, 20 years ago, though?
Money.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was taught it was. We're all programmed. We're all robots.
Right.
And not just us, the money. Our elders as well.
Yeah, that's what
taught us.
Absolutely.
It just go from generation to generation to generation. Just keep working.
But I think now that's being dispelled at this point with this generation.
It is.
It's freedom. And it's having your own. And even if you
even
if you don't have a lot of money,
I feel great.
Yes, absolutely. Because, and I think also for me, it's becoming closer to God and knowing where my source comes from. Like, He's the daddy of all things.
Baby.
But
He'll show you too. Oh, you think you got it?
Oh, that's what I meant. That's what I was going to get to when I was like stewarding well over your time. Because if you don't handle the small things, if you don't steward well over the small things, He's not going to increase that. And then sometimes it'll be taken away for you to have to start all over again for you to understand. Okay, listen. This is where you were. You was getting a little out of hand, a little ungrateful, thinking it was you. So here we're gonna put you back down here, and let's start all over. And what are we gonna do with this time? And so I know I've been there, and I think you've been there too. But I
remember the days, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills.
Yeah, and it got done though, didn't it?
Every time.
Every single time. Every single time. I went through a couple years like that, friend. And of course, nobody knows, but I went through a couple years like that.
Well, at one point I said, let me go check on my friend.
Yeah.
She's too quiet. She's quiet, but it's a different level of quiet.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that those moments, those seasons are necessary.
Oh, God, yes.
It's a heart reset, whether you want it or not.
It's biblical. It is word. Those resets make sure that you don't forget who He is. Make sure that He draws you closer. And without that, we'll be off just thinking it's for me. I can speak about myself, is that for me, I felt like I was doing everything. At my height of success, it was me. Look what I got. Look what I've done. I not a thank you, Lord, around.
Baby, He will humble you.
Listen, now each and every moment the bird could fly, but I'm like, thank you, Lord.
Right. Listen, whatever it is, Lord, thank you. Okay? It done been many times when I looked and was like, did I get paid? I'm looking at some money. I don't know where it came from. All I can say is, oh my God, thank you.
Thank you,
I
Lord.
forgot about that check.
Yeah. And to say, ooh, ain't it a difference from when you were, how is this going to get paid, to you forgot about a check was coming?
Ain't God good, saints?
Baby.
Ain't God good, saints?
He is, even in the roughest and the toughest time.
Because these are roller coasters in entrepreneurship. So I want to, in life.
Yeah, girl.
In life. But to put that on top of it, it's so interesting. So I was talking to somebody yesterday, and it's weird because I sit at bars a lot instead of sitting in the office by myself. And so no house inside of the office. So I make my time in coffee shops and bars normally.
Around people.
Just
That's
to work.
You're a people person. Yeah.
But strangers tell you everything. You hear everything. They won't tell their spouse what they just told me at the bar as a stranger. They needed an outlet.
Yes.
And I think that is just ringing ears for me right now, that therapy and things like that is necessary, because now you have to go to a bar and talk to strangers.
Right.
Because you can't figure out how to balance your life and your entrepreneurship and whatever other secret stuff you got going on.
Or need help figuring out, but you don't have anybody, they don't feel like or not comfortable enough with the people in their lives to talk to them about it. Or maybe it could be where they don't want to burden that person or whatever it is. And it's just so much easier and cost effective to go to the bar and talk to a total stranger about it.
He said he don't want to go home.
Yeah.
Why, baby?
Wow. Did he say why? That's the nose in me, girl. Did he say why?
Yes, he did. He said he let the wrong one go.
Oh.
He doesn't want to go home.
Oh, Lord.
That's what he said. I got my food to go and got up out of there.
I know that's right.
Because I could tell that was going to get heavy and he was going to be there all night. No, baby.
Yeah.
But it just showed me, like, man,
that's
everybody
deep,
going through something.
He let the wrong one go. I don't want to go home.
Is that not sad?
It is.
A house where he pay all the bills, he don't want to go home.
I would have had to find out why, baby. That food would have had to be.
You know,
we would have got into it,
I
child.
think because my dating life is so like, I don't want to say I'm particular. That's just the bottom line to it, and I should be.
Yeah, we all should be.
I can't be. Listen,
We
this is
all
not
should
a.
be.
Yeah, you only have so much time to play before I'll never answer your call again because I can tell that you're playing in my face. And I just feel like dating in general is just such a touchy subject for me that I can't take on nobody else.
Right.
Story ride.
Right.
Sir, you 50-some years old, you played too much. That's your story. Right. That's how I felt about when I listened to it. I should have had a little more empathy. I didn't.
Right. I can hear that though.
Yeah.
If you were supposed to, you would have.
I was like, I know your type. You played with everybody until you started.
And probably was trying to start playing with you with that statement. Yeah. Actually.
Yeah, it never ends. The second you think that you having a legitimate conversation, you already lost the game. There's always something at the end of that tunnel.
Girl, you need to learn that.
Listen, you know how many times I sit with people and they act like once they find out that I'm selling houses or that's my industry, they act like they want to buy a house just for information. Listen, you got to keep your guard up, baby. That discernment is real right about now.
Ooh, yes, girl.
It just is.
I hear you.
You have to be able to see it for what it is fast.
I respect that.
Because you don't have time to sit there and play that game for too long. I have a time limit. Once it's hit, you cannot change my mind.
Right.
Not
Deuces.
sorry. Not sorry.
If you could sit at the bar and it would just be the historic figure that you admire, what would you talk about and why would it be this particular person?
It's funny that you say that because when I was driving here and I drove by MLK House, I said, man, I live in a city.
Right. I had the same thought when I
Where
was
Martin Luther King lives right here.
And
the entire country celebrates this man. It's almost like we almost take it for granted. Or it's just going over our head because we've been here for however long.
Definitely.
But those moments for me, I always wonder about. Like I can tell that if I was around during those times, I wouldn't have lasted long at all. I talk too much, too loud.
They would have hemmed you up.
Yeah, they would have hemmed me up. So I think that most of my conversations would have been with people like that. I mean,
what you would talk about?
I don't know. I think that I'm kind of curious about his lifestyle. Like we always see the stuff that they did. We saw the marches. We saw but that was a human being.
Who was he? He? I had that thought this past MLK season, right? Because I began to see pictures in color. I don't think I've ever seen pictures in color and him with his family, his daughter swinging him on swings. They had a video of him eating dinner. That's live footage of Coretta. And for me, it was like, wow, it really humanized him for me.
And we've never had that, really.
Humanized him for me after all these years.
Agree.
He was just a man who lived to fight for our freedom. And in the end, I think began to realize that or have the thoughts of maybe I should have left shit alone because we were stronger when we were separated. When we had our own communities, our own money, our own parties, our own everything, and all we had was each other, we were stronger. We might have had to fight against them. We might didn't have the same rights, right? But who the fuck, we don't still have them rights today. Who the fuck cares about them right now? For real?
We never had them.
No. And they make it seem like at the drop of a dime, they can take them away. And then we're so separated as a people now. It's shameful. It's like to talk to him if he was alive today, though, and ask him if he feels like, what are his thoughts on if we were better then or now?
Because he went in too far. He came back out.
Yeah.
But he's also a human being.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had doubts.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Scary. And he didn't.
Not just for him, for his family.
Yeah, then that's what I was going to say. You got children now. After all this, it's
like, think about it on an even smaller scale. Some people won't even stand up to the people in their group.
You stand up to the world.
Yeah, to the world. That's a crazy level of pressure.
Right.
At some point, you question that thing. Was this even working?
I'm sure he did. I think those were the things that they were saying in the end, is that he was questioning. He was questioning all that, especially when he began to meet with Malcolm X and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, I would definitely be curious about that because at some point, that's a man too.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah, a man first.
To even make it more modern day, I look at people like Obama and say, man, how was that?
Right.
To be the leader of the free world.
And people hate you just because of what you look like.
You. When you were one of the smartest people there.
If he was covered in different skin, they would have respected him.
Absolutely. And now we can see that in real time. You could be dumb as a doorknob, but if you fit the description, go for it.
Real time. What is a defining moment in your life that helped shape who you are today?
A defining moment. Honestly, I think that I was in college. And when you first go to college and you're fresh out your mom's house, you're having a good time. It don't hit you.
That you're free.
That you're free,
at
right?
last.
Right. Like you don't get it yet, right? And then at some point, I don't know whether you fail in a class or you lose your financial aid, something real happens, right? Where you realize the sacrifices that people are making for you to be there.
People have made before you for you to even be able to go.
Absolutely. And it just hits you differently to say, you know what? I gotta pivot fast. Like, how dare me? The audacity of me to play
with these people money.
With these people money.
Yeah, girl.
Knowing what my family has to do for me to be here, to pay rent, and I'm not working. I'm just going to school and playing too much.
Right.
That was pivotal for me when I realized, girl, you got like 2 years. You better figure it out.
Right.
Do not embarrass these people.
Yeah.
That was heavy for me.
So when you're embarking on failure, that's where that resilience you spoke about earlier comes in.
Yeah.
There's a resiliency where, okay, you're not going to let yourself hit rock bottom. Might get mighty close, but then you know it's time to bounce back.
I just know I can do it. I just have moments where I crash out for a minute. I don't know what that is.
Human. You're human.
Yeah. I can't really
with emotions.
Like identify the trigger at the moment, but I know it's one, and I don't know specifically what it is, but I know I have these seasons where I just kind of fluke out, like I don't have no energy, none, and then I just have a moment where right back where I started, like now I'm all gas, now I'm rebranded, now I got the photo shoot, now I got all these clients, now I'm selling all these houses, like it just acceleration through the roof,
Yeah.
Peak, crash out.
I've been there.
Tired. Yeah.
Sometimes we need those moments to just sit with ourselves, sit with God, have our, just to be and to feel those emotions, and then you come out strong, like you've got 10,000 ancestors behind you, and then like you got.
Maybe I understand you.
Yeah.
Because I do. Some days I can feel my grandmother with me, like my great grandmother. Yeah. Like long gone. Yeah. This is her necklace. Yeah. I can feel her with me. Of course you can. For no reason. I can say, oh, you here today? Okay, girl, we finna go look at these houses.
Let me know what you think.
Yes, girl. And she's just proud of me. She don't put the pressure on me. I can feel her around, and I remember being afraid of her energy.
Now you embrace it.
I love when she's around.
Yeah.
But at some point, they used to scare the crap out of me. Like, man, what is that I feel? And please stop. I used to have to ask her to stop. Right. You're scaring me. Now, girl, come on. Put your seatbelt on. Right.
What
you
is
need those people, you know?
You do. Can you think of a piece of advice she's given you, or anyone, a memorable piece of advice from her or anyone in your passage that's helped you through life? Yeah.
My great grandmother always said, "You reap what you sow," and I'll never forget it. Yeah. Right. But I have a cousin. Her name is Dorothy White. She since passed a few years ago. We call her Steepy, right? Steepy said to me, "You don't understand it right now, baby. But if you got just enough money to go on the trip, go." Yeah. I never forget it. I'm taking it to my grave. Yeah. She said, "Listen, just go. It's the experience. I promise you. My God. Just go."
I love to travel, and I know you do too. I go by myself, and I prefer to go by myself, but I go with people too. Yeah.
If I have to,
I go with
if they invited themselves.
It's certain people I don't mind traveling with, but if I'd rather just go,
I feel like I remember the first time you took a solo trip. And I was like, I'm gonna have to watch all her stuff just in case somebody kidnap her. And that was before people were really getting snatched, but I was concerned for my friend. You was like, I'm going. Yeah. Like by yourself, you was like, yes. You're a loner already.
Yes. So like even when I do travel with people, I end up being by myself anyway for a while, because most people want you to be all right and are happy that you're in their country.
Spending money.
Yes. So tell me, what is the most unforgettable thing? There's something that was unforgettable while you were traveling.
Unforgettable while I was traveling. I don't know. For me, I think that the most memorable stuff was my first trip.
Where was that to?
Like my grandmother told me she had never left the state or wait, you never left the country? Right. Like you've never? So that was a mission for me. So I had ended up going to Cabo, I believe, first. And just to see it, it's just in general, it gives you a perspective of how small you are.
Girl, you better say that.
Like,
absolutely.
It's the environment.
It is.
The second you change the environment, your mind starts processing stuff very differently. And that's why people like to travel. It's an escape.
It is. And everywhere I go, I'll move here. I wonder if I can move here. Everywhere I go, I'm moving there, girl. This shit's hilarious.
Yes, I think just for me in general, just to get on a plane, cross over some seas, and really put yourself in perspective that you're just a little being.
Here, in this little space.
In this little bitty space.
Big old world.
Huge world.
Huge. Why am I just staying in one place? And why would I be fearful to go anywhere just because I'm by myself? That's my thought. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think for me, unforgettable would be, it was a trip to Jamaica actually, and it was a festival going on. We were leaving the festival. There was a bunch of cars outside or whatever, and me and my sister went, and we decided to go ride in separate cars for one reason or another. So I was going to a car that I thought was the car I was going to, and I got in the car and I got in the back seat.
Oh my God.
And I was inebriated.
Okay.
And I was like, Max. And it was like, Max, ooh. And I was like, oh my God. And I got out and I looked around and it was just too much going on. Too many cars. I think people had it was just too much.
Oh my God.
And then so I sat back in the car and it was like asking me where I was going. You know, and while I was frosted, as they call it, I knew where I was going, and I was able to explain where I was going. But by the grace of God, I got into a car that was safe, and so that was memorable for me because any little thing could have happened. And on that same trip, we were leaving another festival, and we thought we were going with a taxi driver, and we got in the back, but then we was like, how these two people? We were talking to two separate people that didn't know each other, but all of a sudden when we get to this car, y'all know each other,
right?
So we in the back seat thinking we in a taxi ride, and they in the front seat, and all of a sudden we look at each other like, wait a minute, something right here. So we got out real quick and we went out to where people were. So those were memorable because of God's grace.
As we travel more, we have to start making better decisions when we do stuff like that. It's just not worth it.
What are your core values, Brittney? What drives you? What's your core value?
Integrity.
Yes. And what does integrity mean to you?
Listen, I have to sleep with myself. And if anything I do in the daytime or the nighttime that I cannot carry to the next day, I'm just not doing it.
Right. I hear that.
And I hate to have to explain to other people when they do stuff that I consider to be shady. Like, you just don't get it.
Right.
It's not in you. I feel like integrity is in you. Yeah. Yes. I think that is something that you are just born with. And that's just that. You can play the role for a while, but that mask will eventually fall. So I feel like for me, when nobody's looking, I am being true to myself.
That is
period.
Doing the right thing even when no one's looking. That is what integrity is. I say it to Noble all the time. I say it in my classroom creed with my children. They say it every morning. We have our own pledge of allegiance. We have Miss Price classroom creed. And that's what we're doing.
I have to meet Miss Price. Who is Miss Price? Can I ask you the questions? Who is Miss Price? What did he say?
I love it, girl. I love it. If I was going to give up and to me, that is freedom, right? To go there, to see what I can teach them, whether it be academics or just how to be a good person about themselves, anything. That's freedom. Because, I went kicking and screaming because I was going from setting my own schedule, doing my own thing, to having to be somewhere at a certain time. God truly set me on this path. It's just been a beautiful journey. Good. And so Miss Price loves to teach. Miss Price loves her first grade class. They get on my nerves every day. But that's what children do, right? They get on your nerves a little bit, then you hug them and you love them, and it's all good. Yes. So yeah, that's truly a part of what I was put on this earth to do.
Ooh, that's good, friend. Yeah. That's good, because you know how many people never find that?
Right. And sometimes people wonderlessly just exist without knowing what that is, without truly being fulfilled, and might be thinking that they're being fulfilled because they're making a lot of money.
They know they're not. Trust me.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what it is.
Millionaires, miserable.
Yeah.
They know.
That's why they say money don't make you happy. It does not.
It's just hard to say when you don't have any. For somebody who's lived in poverty their whole life, they can't register what you're talking about.
I can't find a word for it, but when you don't have any money, you feel some type of way. But it doesn't take away from you being happy, like the trueness of happiness. I think you have to live a little to get there. Yeah. And I think you have had to have had and then lost to really truly get that perspective as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's back to the environment.
You bring up a really good point in this here discussion with environment. It truly is. Environment.
People prefer poor and happy than rich and miserable.
Yeah.
They jump off buildings every day.
And take their own lives, and we sit back and wonder why they did that.
And their families.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they cannot look themselves in the mirror. Whatever they did to get there, it lacked integrity. At some point, something coming back around and they can't face it.
Right.
It's just the bottom line.
There it is. what advice would you give your 18-year-old self? You're you today. What advice would you give her?
What advice would I give 18-year-old me? 18-year-old me was in 12th grade, high school, cheerleading captain, dating popular football player type. What would I tell her? Because, girl, you couldn't tell her nothing. Let's be clear. You couldn't tell her nothing. My grandma told me that all the time. Girl, I can't tell you nothing, but keep living. Okay? So if I could tell her anything, I would just say, girl, just keep believing in yourself. Because in those moments, you're going through a lot. Body changing, the environment changing several times. You're just trying to you want to be grown. It's just a lot going on in that time period. So I think that I might have been shape-shifting, so to speak, just because I had to fit in everywhere at the same time. When really, I think my advice to myself would, girl, just be who you are. To thine own self, be true. You'll be fine.
Is that authentic to you? What is authenticity to you?
For me, I don't have to think about it. Like, I am an authentic person, and it takes no thought. That is just how it flows. Right. It is a natural being. I don't have to watch what I'm saying. I don't have to, like, my energy is real. You can feel it through the room. You can feel it over the phone. You know that I am connecting with you. And I think that authenticity for myself is just an effortless thing that it's a gift.
And that's through your integrity too.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much connected to your
Absolutely. Because when I'm being deceptive, I can't even look in your face. Absolutely. But I can't talk to anybody without looking them in their face. Honestly, when you're not looking at me, I'm kind of searching. I'm kind of leaning like, hey, I'm over here. And that's when discernment comes in place, because you're not going to always catch it, but you can always smell it. You can always feel it.
You can always feel
something is always a little bit off, playing in your face. And you knew that immediately.
Yeah, you knew it.
So why, if you knew it, here it is, don't miss it. Why did you continue?
Right.
You knew, you felt it, you were told, it was all there, and you continued anyway. Why? That's control. When people see something not right and continue anyway, you believe you can change the situation, that you can control and pull the strings to make it what you want it to be. And the second you realize that you cannot control this thing, it's going to be whatever it is, you put yourself in that space. Like, you have to start choosing yourself.
Very true.
Absolutely. This is all about control. I see a situation, I can fix it. Let me put myself out there, my feelings, my heart, my vulnerability, my money.
Yeah.
And how sad.
Very sad.
To do something you already lost for long periods of time. You already knew you lost on day one. How sad.
What a
to
waste
put
of
yourself
time.
in that situation for kicks and giggles. I've been there. I get that. I bet I won't do it again. It's just not worth it to me.
Right.
The mental space and digging out of that hole is just not worth it. But it take experience for you to do that. It take you having a good friend circle. My friends tell me out the gate, what you doing that for?
Right.
You know, and I love being like straightened, because I'm a straightener.
Right.
I hear something my friend said, girl, foolishness.
Right.
I don't waste no
Definitely
time.
will do that.
The second I smell it, girl, get out of there.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
Sometimes we give better advice than we take. We don't take
sure.
our own advice.
Oh,
I get the best advice, girl.
But we know it though.
Yeah, but we know.
We're deciding that we can control the situation.
Right.
That's it.
If you have to do all that, then what are we doing? It's not for you. It's not flowing right. That goes back to whenever we try to go against the natural flow of things in our life, is when we know we're not aligned with our purpose and what should be going on.
But you have to know yourself to identify that.
Right.
It's a lot of people who just don't know themselves well enough to know if they're going left or right.
Right. Absolutely true.
That's like a spiritual journey that you just got to have with yourself to be able to start making the right decisions to be aligned.
Right.
Until you do the groundwork.
Yeah.
It's
and
a
letting
rat
go
race.
of whatever traumas we might have, or just all of those things. There's so many people who are popular giving you advice, these relationship people who ain't doing what they're doing, but they proving to you they not, because they no longer in these relationships. Big out and bold and in the open. They done messed up, not doing anything they're saying they're doing. These whoever it is, all popular, but they're not proving what they're saying.
Baby, open up that Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can see all these big numbers, all these pretty pictures. You get behind the scenes on that thing, nothing add up.
Right.
So you just have to be so rooted in who you are to be able to look at that type of stuff and not be shaken either way.
Right.
And that's the problem. It's a lot of following going on. They ain't asked for one receipt.
Not knowing who they are. Not knowing who they are and not.
I could write a book today and sell hundreds of books. I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying. Popular or not proven. Don't know what the hell you're talking about, but we'll sell those books just based off of the visual. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just what
How
it
things
is.
are.
And you can tell that just based off of the amount of surgery people are getting.
That all look the same at this point.
Yeah. I mean, but
You know?
at this point, it's almost abnormal.
Yeah. To be normal, to not have surgery.
Yeah.
To have your natural body that you're trying to work on in the gym, just to have this body that God gave you.
Somebody saw me and said, "You live in Atlanta? You ain't got your body done? Excuse me?
I love me.
Excuse me?
Gain weight, little weight, all that. No.
Like, I don't shade people that get certain stuff done, but
No.
I absolutely realize that it is a mental capacity connected to doing stuff like that to your body.
Especially repeatedly.
For sure.
Right?
Over and over again, to the point where at this point, it might be a health risk.
Yeah.
Do it anyway, because you cannot imagine living another day looking like this.
Right.
Can you imagine?
No.
I can't. Me neither.
No, I absolutely can't.
Me neither. I have to have a serious deformity
to consider it.
But just because for vanity, I can't.
And just not loving who you are, just who you were born to be, like
that's so
how you were made and sculpted to be. Like the potter made the clay, and you like, hey, Potter, I don't like this ass Potter. I'm gonna go fix it.
And I don't like the one I got fixed. I want to fix it again.
Yes, and then I don't like this nose either that you put in the middle of my face. So I'm gonna go get that done too, and my chin, and I'm gonna lift my eyes, and like I said, do you. But my point of view is, what are you saying to who made you? Even your parents. Let's not even talk about God. What are you saying about your parents that you are the DNA of? What you saying to them then?
Listen, there's nothing funnier than seeing these memes when they have these kids and the kids look like nobody.
Yeah, look like
you look like somebody else.
Like Lil' Kim child look like what she used to look like.
Yeah. Your kids don't even see you in them.
Yeah.
Some people just don't acknowledge it. It's just too far gone.
Right. And you can't make the statement, love me for me, if I don't even love me for me.
Hello, somebody. It's just something that you watch and you just kind of have your opinion about it and you go about your day. We see the difference between I need to fix this real quick versus I'm here every year.
Right.
Yeah.
Every year.
Every year.
Brittney, you see anything after real estate? Where do you see real estate going for you? Or do you see anything after real estate as far as entrepreneurship? Do you have any other passions in that realm?
I have recently decided to have property management under Brittney Nealy. Just because I have a few clients that have investment properties, rental properties, and they're saying, well, I want you to manage it. Okay. I wasn't even thinking in that space. But since you said it, fine. So I'm kicking that off this year.
Wonderful.
But also on the Airbnb space, I am a super host. I'm an expert in this game, right? So people come and ask me about it, and I just decided, okay, I'm going to probably do long-term and short-term on property management, but I don't see myself being an agent forever.
Right.
At some point, I just want to buy, let it sit, live my life, and go play golf.
I know.
And buy cute hats.
I know, that's right.
And have a beautiful husband and beautiful kids.
Yes.
That's how I see it going. I'm an investor. I want to make sure that when I see something worthy of buying or sitting on, I can buy it.
I loved investing. I loved accumulating properties. I know I wasn't as savvy as I should have been.
Okay.
But we are where we are always supposed to be.
So, but you also, like, one thing I try to explain to people, because the internet makes people think they can fix and flip, buy and hold, do all these things just because they watched a 2-hour seminar. You're gonna lose some money. This is not just a game, win. No, it's gonna be some losses. Some big ones.
But them losses, those times they produce big wins. Because you learn so much during those losses. I know a gentleman who was into trading, and he went through a lot with trading, and he had a lot of setbacks in it, but he stayed in it, and because of those setbacks though is what made him want to stay in it, and he's got his strategy down now, versus going after looking at this person's strategy, what his is and theirs is. He's created his own lane and now has the confidence to do it. And so I think I use that to say big setbacks, huge setbacks, most times are setting you up for big old comebacks.
Absolutely. But you know why? Believes in itself.
Yeah.
It's confident in his skills.
Yeah.
And you have to be to invest that kind of money.
And
time. You should be.
Yeah.
Right. People just skip the little things that happen in those processes. Expect for thousands of dollars of mistakes to happen. That's just the name of the game. Scared money don't make money.
Scared money don't make no
You gonna get in and play the game, or you sit on the sidelines and watch everybody else?
You're starting seminars now too, right?
I'm starting seminars.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to do most conversations that I have. These people are saying, Brittney, I am scared. I don't have anybody in my family to ask about this. We inherited my grandma's house.
Right.
I've never lived in a house. Some people said I've lived in an apartment my entire life.
Like childhood on up.
Please help me. This is a recent conversation. Please help me. I'm going to be the first person in my family to ever own a house. I was inspired and more than prepared. Closed fast. The girl was ready. And this whole time, she thought she wasn't.
Oh.
It was a mindset. It was an environment.
Girl, we keep coming at girl environment.
She closed that thing in 30 days. She did. So now I'm inspired to help other people just like that. So on Wednesdays, I try to open up my schedule to make sure that if anybody needs to call, contact me. I'm giving out this free information every Wednesday, 7 o'clock, all year long. Okay. Just because I don't want people to be intimidated by asking. That is my mission, to help people.
Right.
That's the bottom line. I always say I'm here to help. I sincerely mean that.
I think this is you think transitioning from healthcare management into real estate is that you found a piece of your purpose?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just think that in healthcare, you're just another employee in a big Metro Atlanta hospital. Make sure that code is right and it's at the top dollar.
Right.
That's it. Don't put the Band-Aid, put the gauze.
Right.
You know, like it is a thing, right? Like the insurance companies, it's a thing, y'all. Like it is.
I call them the sick care system versus the healthcare system.
Absolutely. You have to stay
trying to make some money. Yeah.
What are we gonna do if you well?
What are they gonna do when we're well?
No, my father says it all the time. Bless his heart.
What?
He gonna tell me, have some nettle, make some nettle tea.
Yeah, that's my daddy.
Yes.
My daddy stayed with the cayenne pepper and the gingers and the garlics and all of it, the teas, the Cersei tea and everything.
Yep.
So yeah.
And it works.
It does. Listen, everything that we need to be healthy, first of all, is in our bodies, our very own bodies, because our bodies are made to thrive and to stay alive. They fight to stay alive. Our cells renew themselves to stay alive. If we put the right things in our bodies, then we create longevity.
Yep.
But so everything that we need is here on the earth. It grows out of the ground or from the tree or wherever it's supposed to fall out of the sky. He left it here for us. And then we have the pharmaceutical companies who ban with the medical doctors. And you have medical doctors who have retired who will say, I couldn't do it anymore. I made a commitment to save lives. And here I am keeping them sick because I'm giving them medication that is not making them better. And then the synthetic.
It's a dirty business.
Oh, it is. You got to, and they make a lot of money. And
most dirty businesses do.
Right.
That's why people are pushing their integrity to the side because the dollar sign is worth them sleeping at night.
Vaccines, they got babies getting 12 shots before they're 1 year old. Their body haven't even gotten a chance to adjust to the world. But you want to shoot them up with an unknown substance. And I saw a clip the other day where they were saying that the doctors were saying that when they were in school and interning, all they did was tell them the schedule that it needs to go out. They didn't tell them nothing about the vaccines. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Can we get them a chance to have their own immune systems build up before we go and shooting them with a bunch of stuff that we don't even know what it is?
No, because this has been programmed to look like the land of the free.
Yeah, girl, we couldn't say that.
Come on,
that's why when you that's why when we travel, we feel so free, and we see people living happy at a fraction of the cost that it is here, or they have a fraction of the material items that we have. And they are happy, like truly happy. I don't know if it's a sun over in them other places or what it is, but
they just don't require much to be happy. We are in a space where we see things that we think we need to be happy. They never even seen it. You can't miss something you never had.
Right.
People are just not good. Not good. I remember one day I was in boot camp. It's maybe 2 months ago. You could feel the energy in the room to share up. People were really going through stuff. And if you just pay attention for a few minutes, you can see how heavy it is.
That's why they say, well, just, you don't know what your smile or hug will do for somebody.
You just don't know.
Just a simple smile and good
touch
morning.
Somebody, start crying.
Yeah.
I just touched her.
Yeah. Wow.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I became this advocate in that space where every once in a while I just say, leave people alone.
Yeah.
You don't know what people are going through.
Take a lot even to be there. Takes a lot even to be there.
And it ain't cheap.
It's not cheap. And we can make every excuse in the world not to be there. And to get, especially as early in the morning as we go, it takes effort. How about we just congratulate them for being here, even if they are doing the deadlift wrong?
At this point, it's been. I don't think I realized how long I've been going. Like,
so to affect or to working out in general.
I connect you,
girl,
to affect.
I'll be like, there she go.
I know,
right? But you think it would be HX?
That's where we met, friend. Cheers.
I know. Cheers, girl.
Cheers to HX.
Yeah, you connect me to both.
When I was there in those first like for real boot camp days, it was me and you.
Yeah.
You would save me a spot.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to check in.
Right.
4 years later,
and
I'm
then
in the front row.
But I'm
fourth
and
spot.
I leave. I put drop
you
in and I leave. Right. But yeah. So for me, it's because when I first walked into HX. And not HX Effect, it was different because the little side part one cut off, and so I used to be over there in that because I like walls, so I would have the same spot over there by the wall, and I remember Dooley told me to move up or do something, and I looked back at him like, why? I didn't know he was, but I was still me.
You keep trying to stand in those shadows, and people want you out of them.
He's like, why? I was like, why? And then he would give me for heavies. Right now, I'm using 4 pounds, if that. He would give me 8 and 9 pounds, and I would do the class with that. So I compare myself to myself, trying to get back to that self. Absolutely. So me being in boot camp and be damn near, I've always damn near died. But I'm really damn near down right now because I'm really started from the bottom up. Yeah. But I am enjoying the process though because I'm back. Right.
Listen, baby.
And
I'm glad to see you.
Yeah.
I light up every time I see your face.
Yeah, I'll be looking for you.
One of them days last week, I was all in the front row doing this in the back. But they was like, "What is she doing? Girl, I'm looking for my friend. I gotta make sure she showed up."
Right.
And there you were. And I said, "Okay, she's good."
Yes. I appreciate the gym because when I was
out, you know that's that therapy, right? Yeah. Girl. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
When I was out, I tried to meet myself at Planet Fitness. I was like, if I can meet them at the gym, I can meet myself at Planet Fitness.
What a joke!
Because I can train myself. Child, please. It's just something about getting up and going and meeting people, seeing people.
Well, I think that is just built in me telling somebody I'm going to do something and making sure that I do it.
Yeah. But it ain't something that sometimes we can tell ourselves that and it not be done?
Apparently not. Apparently not. I mean, overall, as an entrepreneur, yes. Yeah. I have a schedule that I have to stick to, and nobody's going to question me about it. And I have to produce, okay? I can't drink the coffee and the Ritas and going on home every day. Right. I have to produce. But when it comes to stuff like that, I just honestly want the structure. Yes. Please tell me what to do.
We need structure in our lives. As from toddlers to adults, we need structure. I mean, structure's built biblically. There's structure there. There's rules and regulations, and God is a God of order. So of course we need order. We need structure. And so so 3 words. I'm going to give you 3 words, and you're going to choose one of them, and you're going to expound on it. Okay. So the words are passion, human, or connection.
I like all of those. I think I want to go human.
Okay.
I think I want to go human just because one thing that I have in self-analyzing, we all do it, is that I have to remind myself that I'm human. I'm a perfectionist, and that is just a form of procrastination.
Girl, right? It is. You Virgo, you.
I just want everything to be picture perfect. And I realized it doesn't require that. I've seen some stuff that barely made sense, went through the roof. Yeah. I was like, what? Why did I sit on that for so long? I was already on the right path. And for some reason, because it didn't look like what I thought it should look like coming from me, I didn't do it. When really all I had to do was press the button.
Press the button.
Because I'm human.
Press the doggone button.
That's right.
All right, Brittney Nealy, what is legacy for you?
Legacy. I want to leave something that you're proud of. Right. I want to be proud. I want to be proud. I want my family to be proud. And I want them to have something, even when I'm gone. You know?
If anything, they're going to have just you, who you are, the honest person with integrity that you are.
Yeah,
that'll be a great legacy.
I want to make sure, it's passing. You know, in HBCU, where a legacy is when your kids are coming after you. And they follow in your same footsteps as far as joining the same groups. It's easier to get in certain sororities and fraternities if you legacy. You honorary. Yeah. Because it's already in you. Right. And I want to have that same space for my future family. So everything that I do, I always think about how can that be a legacy. If I put all the energy that I'm supposed to put into this property management, I can pass it right on down. That is a legacy.
Right. Amen. God bless it.
Thank
I
you,
do.
friend. Thank
I
you.
loved your journey into real estate, and now it's bringing you further into it, stepping out of buying and selling into managing. And I think that'll be great because that can grow tremendously, and it doesn't have to just be in Atlanta. It could be throughout Georgia. Yes. Well, praise God.
I can't wait to call and ask for help.
I know, girl.
Amen.
Amen. You better say that,
Love
girl.
them sources. Thank you, God.
Amen. Anyway, B. Nealy, thank you for coming on, love.
You already know, friend. I'm with whatever you with.
I know that's right. You better say that. I love you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
this
was
absolutely going to be success for you. I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
I know you can go slide off into the corner somewhere, baby. You on the front stage today. You hear me? You ain't in the corner today.
I know.
You on the stage today, and I am proud of you for that.
Thank
so
you.
Serious.
Thank you.
Glowing friend.
Did you feel free, open to
Absolutely.
speak and talking how you wanted to?
I'm always free.
Did you outside the box?
Outside the box every time. We always have good conversations.
Yes.
On the mics are off.
Amen. All right. I love you, friend. All right. Signing off. We out. Peace.
Thank you for listening to 1188 Outside the Box. I hope you enjoyed our discussion. It was fun. It was fun to do. Until next time, be sure to follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Anywho, thanks again for listening, and until next time, be outside the box.